Welcome to Learning English with Stories.
Sally. Sally had always loved the romance of train travel. The rhythmic clickety-clack of the tracks. The ever-changing scenery outside the window. And the chance encounters with fellow travelers. On this particular journey, she found herself aboard an old-fashioned steam locomotive, bound for a picturesque town nestled in the mountains. Settling into her seat by the window, Sally couldn't help but notice the eclectic mix of passengers boarding the train. There was a young couple with a baby, an elderly man with a stack of crossword puzzles, and a group of giggling teenagers in the back. But what caught her eye the most was a man in an oversized cowboy hat, his boots tapping out an impromptu rhythm on the platform as he waited to board. As fate would have it, the cowboy took the seat directly across from Sally. His hat was so large that every time he leaned forward to grab his suitcase from the overhead rack, it threatened to slide off his head. Sally couldn't help but smile at the sight. "Quite the hat you've got there," she remarked with a friendly nod. The cowboy grinned back, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Ah, well, can't go anywhere without my lucky hat," he replied in a drawl that hinted at a southern upbringing. Introductions were made. His name was Hank, a rancher from Texas, traveling north to visit family. Sally, a city dweller with a penchant for adventure, shared her enthusiasm for train journeys and the stories they often carried. As the train pulled out of the station, Hank regaled Sally with tales of life on the ranch, of stubborn cattle and unpredictable weather, of starry nights and wide-open spaces. Sally, in turn, shared stories of her travels, weaving in anecdotes of quirky encounters and mishaps that had become cherished memories. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, punctuated by bursts of laughter and exclamations of surprise. As the landscape outside transformed from bustling cityscapes to rolling hills and quaint villages, the hours melted away like snowflakes on a warm day, each minute bringing them closer despite the miles that stretched between their origins. At one point, the train slowed to a stop at a small station nestled in a valley. Hank leaned forward to peer out the window, his hat slipping perilously close to Sally's lap. With a playful grin, she caught it just in time, handing it back with a mock scolding. "Careful there, cowboy. You almost lost your lucky charm," she teased. Hank chuckled, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Guess I owe you one, ma'am." Their camaraderie grew as the journey continued, fueled by shared snacks from the onboard cafe. By the time the conductor announced their impending arrival, Sally realized with a pang of regret that their time together was drawing to a close. As they gathered their belongings, Hank tipped his hat in a gallant gesture. It's been a pleasure, Sally. Maybe our paths will cross again someday. Sally smiled wistfully, touched by the unexpected friendship. Forged on a train ride through the countryside. I'd like that, Hank. Safe travels. With a final wave, Hank disappeared into the bustling station, leaving Sally with a heart warmed by the memories of a journey filled with laughter, stories, and the serendipity of meeting a cowboy with a lucky hat.